Potential. It's supposed to be the capacity to become or develop into something in the future, but it's something that's so hard to gauge. Out of the 175 top 5 picks for the past 35 years, only 77 became All-Stars, only 44%. Less than half of the supposed best 5 every year became stars. Lonzo Ball is one of those top 5 picks with a new start on the Pelicans, and he's showing flashes of star play, but he's also been inconsistent. So what's up with Lonzo Ball, and why is he playing better now? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Yes, Lonzo Ball has been playing better recently. In his last 5 games, he's averaging 19.8 points, 7.8 assists, and 6.2 rebounds on 51% from the field and 40.5% from 3. And since Lonzo's return to the starting lineup, the Pelicans are 7-2. But this is more than just Lonzo playing better. It's as if he's fighting the title of an NBA bust. Lonzo has been a polarizing subject since he came into the league.
Make up your mind!
It's been an unusual path to say the least, so let's take a deeper look at Lonzo as a whole and his recent play. Drop a like for the amount of passes Lonzo makes per game, 6,243. Speaking of hype, I made a TikTok on Taco Fall, so giving a $20 gift card to someone who likes and follows. And only 15% of you are subscribed. Could we just get to 420k and to 46% for Lonzo's free throw percentage? So please subscribe. Also, turn on notifications cause Lonzo. After the Lakers game, Lonzo said this.
My body feels good, my confidence is, where it's supposed to be, and, the sky's the limit from there.
There's a lot in these words. Lonzo has never particularly been healthy in his first 2 seasons. He's only played in 99 games in his first 2 seasons out of a possible 164 games. He was injured in his first real NBA offseason. He was even injured in 8 games this season out of a possible 36. And we're not just talking nagging 1 or 2 game misses at a time. Lonzo has missed stretches of games. He's missed 73 games in 2.5 seasons. In fact, here's a list of all of his injuries. And this doesn't even include off-season knee problems. Rookies and sophomores in general are suffering more injuries, so this is not surprising, but it still should be considered. Most of the time, Lonzo is stuck saying, "I'm getting back into rhythm," so this is a first, and he's only continued since that Lakers game. Before we begin to label Lonzo a bust, aka Kendrick Perkins,
you're stupid.
It's important to realize that this is only his 3rd year and he's only 22. The media and fans like to put players into categories early on. Categories like potential all-stars, potential GOATs, starters, and bust. But the first 2 years of a player's career doesn't necessarily define who they are. An example of that is Pascal Siakam, who won Most Improved in his 3rd year, or CJ McCollum, who went from averaging 6.3 points in 14.5 minutes to 20.8 points in 34.8 minutes in his 3rd season. Offensive progression is way more noticeable, but Lonzo did make one huge improvement from 1st to 2nd year, and that was his defense. When Lonzo came into the league, he was thought to be more of a defensive liability. But in the NBA, he was able to get better defensively as he played more, to the point where he became one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Now, I know the more common place would be for a lower draft pick who didn't really get a chance in his first few seasons to suddenly break out. Siakam was the 27th pick, McCollum was a lottery pick at 10, so that's not necessarily the case. In terms of opportunities, it looks like Lonzo got a lot of minutes in his first 2 seasons, averaging 32.9 minutes per game, but the key word there is per game. We already talked about Lonzo's injuries, and because of that, there weren't that many games he played. Although Lonzo was the number 2 pick, he was still looked at as a player that was quirky and had to be utilized in a certain way. Luke Walton never gave Lonzo that chance, and Lonzo didn't get as much playing time or help to improve on his game to be more well-rounded. He just lost out on experience. I think it'd be a good comparison to see the amount of minutes played by all other players in the first 2 seasons and see how that compares with Lonzo. It would take a while, but it's really important. So I took all the players in their first 2 seasons from the 2000s and their minutes and then plotted them on the chart. I got the first 400 players in total minutes played, and here's the chart. LeBron led the top of the list, Giannis was 42nd, heck, Bismack Biyombo is 239th with over 4,700 minutes played. And here's Lonzo, 321st with 4,080 minutes played. Interestingly enough, Lonzo played less total time than CJ McCollum did in his first 2 seasons. Progression that we'd likely seen a player between his first and second year wouldn't make sense in this case. The verdict is still out on Lonzo, who is in his 3rd year. He has not earned the title of an NBA bust nor a potential all-star. So now, with that understanding, let's talk about Lonzo's recent play. During this season, Lonzo was benched, and since returning to the starting lineup, the Pelicans are 7-2. They were 6-23 before this stretch. Also, Alvin Gentry wasn't running a consistent lineup. The Pelicans have played 25 games this season, and there is no 5-man lineup that has logged more than 9 games together. Yeah, out of all the lineups, not just the starting lineups, all lineup combinations on the floor that the Pelicans have run throughout all of the 25 games, there's no 5-man combination that have appeared in at least half of their games. On top of that, Brandon Ingram and Jrue Holiday were pounding the heck out of the ball. Ingram was 7th in ISO in the league at the time. Jrue Holiday was averaging more touches than LeBron was last year. This all meant that for a true point guard like Lonzo, he was the odd man out.
Oh, come on, man.
Remember how we talked about minutes per game? Yeah, well, before this stretch, Lonzo was averaging 28 minutes a game, starting in only 16 of 25 games. And while 28 minutes seems like a good amount, it's the inconsistency of those minutes that leads to issues. In the last 5-game stretch, he's averaging 36 minutes a game, many of which were spent on a consistent lineup. Ingram is now 10th in the league in ISOs, his recent games being an indication that he isn't just holding onto the ball as much. Jrue Holiday has dropped his touches from 86 to 75.3 in the last 5 games, while Lonzo finally has the most touches on the team now at 92.6 in the last 5 games. Lonzo has also increased his drives from 6 a game to 7.6, but more importantly than just the increase of his drives is the aggression and intent to score. Whereas before only 30% of his drives led to points, now it's 47.6%. This is because Lonzo is simply exploding into the paint, taking layups with confidence, and going into defenders. Yes, Ingram and Jrue seem to be trusting Lonzo a lot more, but if Lonzo is truly healthy, that just fits into why he's more aggressive. He's also just making more threes right now. These are the same looks he was getting all season that he just missed. He's had stretches of solid 3-point shooting before, and that has come when Lonzo's given more minutes. On the Lakers last season, when Lonzo played 30-39 minutes, which was over 20 games, he shot 46% from the field and 42.9% from 3 with a net rating of 5.9. So with Lonzo playing 36 minutes a game, he's once again a good shooter. He's taking 8.4 threes a game in the last 5 games, and he's hitting them from all over the court. His new shot is more consistent and also giving him confidence, but Lonzo's one of those cases that the more he plays, the more efficient he gets because he just gets into a rhythm. Still, the team isn't really trusting Lonzo to score at the end of the game. At the end of the Lakers and Pelicans game, when Lonzo takes his man off the dribble and makes the layup, Lonzo doesn't touch the ball in the half-court setting until 2.5 minutes later when he dunks it. Lonzo doesn't touch it again, and instead, Ingram just holds onto the ball looking to make a play without involving any of his teammates or going to the hotter hand in Lonzo for multiple plays down the floor. It wasn't like Ingram was having an amazing game. Lonzo was having the better game, but Ingram tried to do it all himself. And so yeah, Lonzo is playing better, but this is finally a real chance he's been given in the past couple of games. He's getting more offensive responsibilities, he's getting more consistency, he's just being the player some of us thought he would be. But Lonzo Ball is not a simple open and shut case. There's a lot more to him than just bust or star potential, and we'll see more of it as he gets more opportunities on the Pelicans. But what do you think? Is Lonzo Ball a future all-star or bust? Can Lonzo keep this up? Drop a like for Lonzo, cause come on, it's Zoe. Yeah, I made a TikTok on Taco Fall, so it's there. I might be streaming tonight on the second channel, so pull through. And if you're still here, you a real one, so comment more so I know. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Reg, and the all-day notification shout goes to Christian Blake. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to hit the bell for all your notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button, join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Spaceship, no.